Hello, hello. So, thanks for tuning into the stream. In this stream, I'm going to show you how to make music using software. Even if you don't have a device like this keyboard here, even though we are going to use it, you don't need to, or any musical experience. Just want to show you a piece of software I've been using lately that I think is probably the most fun piece of music creating software there is. I don't use this for like my professional productions, but I go through months where I get into this software and just have to play with it because it's so damn fun, and it does sound great. And I have made songs with it, full songs, but I come back and forth into it. It's called Reason, and you can get it at reasonstudios.com. What I recommend is downloading the trial. I think it's more of a limited version where you can run all the time, but you just can't save or something like that. It is $20 a month if you want to do the subscription. It's like $300 if you want to buy it flat out or something like that. I'm doing the subscription right now. Anyway, cool thing about it is it has this old school rack. Like if you look at this picture, like you're in a studio, and it has devices in a rack, just like an old school studio would, with wires and things like that. So I'm going to open it up. I'm going to show you how to make music with it if you've never used recording software before. Don't get, and I say this before every stream, don't get overwhelmed by the amount of, it says it's reconnecting. And now it says it's reconnected. So I may have lost you guys there for a second. I hope I didn't, but it looks like everything recovered. So let's open the software and I'll show it to you. What I was trying to say was, if it did get cut off, my job right now on Earth is to make this stuff very easy for you to absorb so you can become musicians and make music. So let's update those licenses. It's going to take a second there. I want to take a complicated looking software and make it easy for anybody to make music, because I want more musicians on this planet. I want more good music on this planet. So that's the mission, and you guys are here to help me with that. So like I said, look at, it's got like this metal and wood rack, just like a recording studio would, but it's drop dead simple. Check this out. If I wanted to bring in like an instrument into the rack, like a digital instrument, like if you want to have a piano sound, you could just go down to this real easy rack mounted device here called the ID8 instrument device, and you just drag it into the blank spot. And now, if you have a keyboard like this hooked up, you have piano. It sounds good. So we're going to be using this ID8 device because it's just simple. And it's got this old school, easy to use look to it. And it just says piano. And there's like 8 instruments you could have on it. And one of them is piano, or like 16 instruments or something. If you don't have a keyboard like this, I know I'm patting it like a whatever. You can just draw in the notes on your computer with your mouse. So if you just double click down here in this track, this lane, and you make a little yellow box like that by just double clicking, and then you double click on that little yellow box, you get a piano, and you can just play the keys on the piano there. And that's fine to play them like that, like an idiot, like a jackass, or you could actually start drawing in notes by just double clicking in your mouse here. And let me just draw on some notes. And let's do, actually, let's do that one. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. Let's do this one up here, and then come back down. And let's see how that sounds when we hit play. All right, sounds kind of funky, but at least it's a little thing we created without even having to use this keyboard. But I'll probably try to play some chords in here now, like. All right. So we got a little riff in there. And now I'm going to pull in that instrument again and just put it right under the original one. Now we have another piano on another track, so we could layer the two. So let me just do this. I'm going to duplicate that 4 times. So we have 4 of those little patterns going. And then I'm going to play some chords. So that one I played with the keyboard. And you can see those notes here. All right, so now we have 2 instruments that we just played. And let's pull this in again. Now we have 3 instruments, and we could hit a couple buttons here and maybe go to some drums. Bass, strings, brass, synthesizers, and drums. So now the keyboard can be drums. So let's play that. All right, and let's hear how that sounds. It might sound terrible. I think it was pretty bad, but let's see. All right, there's only one part that's really bad, so you can just go ahead and change that here. Let's try this. All right, so that wasn't horrible, and we could actually put in like cymbals, like, watch this. I'm just going to duplicate this one note all the way across, and it'll kind of complete the beat here. All right, so now we have 3 different tracks. And if we want to put a bass in there, yeah, just drag another one of these in here. Click the arrows in here till we get to bass. And let's try some basses. Ugh. Let's try pick. It's not even my... or upright. That sounds pretty cool, actually. So let's see, we'll play a bass line in there. There we go, some bass. See how easy it is? I mean, we literally did this in like 5 minutes. We have a 4-track song now, and it's not even terrible. It's pretty good. So the point I really want to get across here is you don't need a lot to make music. You can just do it all with your computer. If you get one of these devices, these keyboards, which is called a MIDI controller, you could do even more. You could have fun just playing with the keys. Now, MIDI controllers are super cheap because there's no actual sounds in these things. It's just a shell that plugs into your computer with USB, and the sounds all come out of the computer, out of these blue devices, in this case, up here. That's where all the sounds come from. So your computer's doing all the heavy work, which is fine because computers are way more powerful than you need, for the most part, in audio, to make audio recordings. Computers were meant to do more robust things a lot of the time. So your computer usually, even if it's not a great one, is more than adequate enough to make great music with music software. Like I said, this one's called Reason 12. And we just did a basic 4-track song. Like each one of these lines is called a track because it has a different instrument on it. And you might have heard somebody be like, yo, nice track. Like that's like a song, another word for a song. So that's what we got so far. I mean, we still have some time. It's only been 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and I'll put a little extra sauce on these tracks to make them sound better. I'm going to open up something else that might overwhelm you, but I don't want it to because it's really fun. Check this thing out. This is a mixing board built into the software that resembles like old school mixing boards you have in music studios. It looks kind of the same. You've probably seen pictures of some artist in a studio and all the knobs and stuff like that. The reason you shouldn't get overwhelmed with this is because it looks like there's a lot of knobs, but as long as you just know what one strip of them do, like one strip, all the rest of them are just a copy of that strip. So let's just take this one, okay, this yellow one over here, and just know that this one here is volume, okay? This one here makes the sound come out of the left speaker or the right speaker. I'll show you. Okay, now it's coming out of the right speaker. I turn this, now it's coming out of the left speaker. Let me turn off this little click here. We don't need that anymore. And this is the volume. So once you know that on this track, it's the same on all these other tracks. So let's bring this back to the center. And what we have in here are some what are called effects. An effect can be like an echo. Let's just use that one in this first case. So if I hit this one button up here, it turns on effect number 1, which is like a reverberation. It's called reverb, but it's like a reverberating echo, like if you're in the Grand Canyon and you said hello, and it just goes and goes and goes with a long tail at the end of your word. So check it out how it sounds with the reverb on it. If you turn this green knob, you can turn it all the way up or all the way down. So we're going to probably put it about there. So that's one effect. If I turn off number 1 and turn on number 4, if you look over here in this, I know it's small writing. It says warm echo. So this is going to give an echoing sound. Let's hear how that sounds. I think that's pretty cool. I'm going to do both echo and this reverb. So it sounds much different than just plain old piano with nothing. Now, since we already have piano on this track here, I'm going to put some reverb on that too. And turn this one back on. Let's hear how it sounds with all the instruments now. Okay, I want to do something a little different. See, I like that there's a piano here in this yellow track here. So I want to change the instrument of our original track, this guy. I'm just going to solo that one track. I don't want this to be piano. I want this to be another instrument. It's not too late because this is all digital. I mean, this is a cool thing. If we were recording on tape, we'd have to go and record a whole new thing. This isn't tape. This is digital. We could switch anything we want. You can't even break anything. You could try your hardest to break this program. It will not break. It's digital. So I'm going to open up the rack again, and I want to change this from a piano into maybe like a synthesizer or something. Let's see how that sounds. That's pretty cool. How about this one? Ooh, that's interesting. How does that sound with the other instruments? That's actually the coolest, probably. We'll keep that one. So now we got a synthesizer, we got a piano, we got drums, and we got bass. So if we go back to our mixer, you can see that that's all. That's our 4 tracks here. Now, as we go up the mixer, these kind of like these Skittles-looking knobs here, colored, are basically an equalizer, like treble and bass, like you see on stereos. That's all these are, is just treble and bass. The red is treble, and it slowly goes down until you hit the black, which is bass. So I'll play it with the drums. I'll let you guys hear how you could adjust treble and bass with these. Watch, I'll turn this one up. You'll hear the treble go up. Hear the treble? Let's put that back to normal. And the bottom one's bass. You'll hear the bass go up. Hear that? So you could adjust it to your liking. And these ones in the middle are just kind of in between treble and bass. So this is a little, it's called high mid range. And this is called low mid range. Sounds kind of cool like that. And let's hear how it sounds with the other instruments. All right, this one on the end is our bass guitar. Let's add more bass to our bass guitar. So let's turn on the EQ and put more bass in there. There we go. Let's hear how that sounds. A little too much. We'll take some of that down. So, the rest of these knobs are just little toys here and there. But so let's go back to the rack. I want to show you some other thing. This is way more advanced. I just think it's cool. So even if this does overwhelm you, I'm sorry. It's just the coolest thing. One of the coolest things about Reason is if you hit the tab key on your keyboard, it flips the whole rack around and you have wires just like you would in the studio. And they all go to like specific places and you can rearrange the wires and hook them up to different devices and they act like wires. I mean, look at it flopping all around. That's just really cool, fun stuff. Like, that's how the back of an actual like recording console looks like. And you could manipulate that all inside of Reason. So if you really want to get geeky, and if you are a geek as well as a musician, then just hit tab on Reason and you have access to all the toys. All of these devices, if you open them up into the more advanced view, have all different knobs you could adjust. So making music with your computer is super fun. And just by looking at this screen, you could see that your choices of what you can do with things are unlimited. They're actually completely unlimited. Like we just put 4 instruments in here and look how many knobs we can adjust just on 4 instruments. It's insane the possibilities that you can come up with. So I want to help create the artists of the future. This kind of stuff is where music is going. I mean, this program has been around for a while and it just keeps getting better. It's not the only program I talk about. I usually talk about a program called Studio One, which we'll probably go over in like the next live stream or the one after that. But damn, like if this isn't fun for any musician, like I don't know what is. And even if you don't play, remember, you could just go into the sequencer down here and just draw in your notes, like all over the place, and experiment and see what sounds good. I have what's called my white keys method, which is if we kind of stick to all the white notes here, you can't really go wrong. If you start adding in black notes and white notes, it could sound a little dissonant, which means it doesn't really flow good together. So maybe if you're just starting out, just play with all the white keys. Anyway, that's a quick little live stream I wanted to do for you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Check out Reason. Download the demo. If you really like it and you want to pick this as your main music making software, for $20, you basically get everything. Like we use just this one little sliver of a device over here. This blue one. It's this thin little sliver of one. But check out all these other, like you could just drag drum machines and let's see what else we got. Huge synthesizers with 7,000 knobs and waveforms, and a whole drum machine here with like 16 pads to make it look like an old school hip hop drum machine. Like that's just 4 instruments I showed you. There's a whole column is instruments. So you can go crazy, insane, making unlimited amounts of music. There's guitar amps in here. There's bass amps in here. I have my guitar plugged in right here. We'll go over that next time. But you can play your guitar into it. You can sing into this program. I actually sang into it a couple streams ago. So, and you could process vocal effects and harmonize and vocalize and all kinds of cool stuff. This is the stuff of the future. I hope you guys get into it. I want to be your resource for whenever you have questions about it. Hit me up anytime at mail@dawljunkie.com. And if you're wondering what a DAW is, because I say I'm a DAW junkie, A DAW is what Reason is. It's a digital audio workstation. Reason is a DAW. It's a piece of software, and it stands for Digital Audio Workstation. It's software used to make music. So go to mail@dawjunkie.com. Send me questions or anything you'd like to see in future videos. Go to our YouTube channel at DAW Junkie. This is just called DAW Junkie. And watch all the other videos there. Subscribe to the channel if you can, and I'll talk to you guys in the next stream. Later.